How did I get to the point of having 380,000 followers on TikTok as a barber? To the point where posting the video and it getting 1 million views is just standard. Because believe it or not, there was a time when I was posting and I was struggling to scrape 10k views. And I was not understanding why my videos weren't performing well. And obviously over the years I've been posting content, I've gained a deep understanding of what actually causes a video to do well, especially in the barbering niche. And more importantly, why the majority of content that barbers post isn't actually going to lead to anything in terms of views, gaining customers, making money. So I thought it'd be good to go right back to the start of my content creation career on TikTok and essentially view the progression of content over the years. Because trust me, I've posted videos barbering related, not barbering related. This video will just be me exposing myself, but I do want a lot of you barbers or general content creators to take a lot of value from this, because we're going to cover a lot of important topics as to why videos perform well, how to make them perform well, and especially what to avoid when you're creating content and the traps that people fall into. So let's dive into it. Firstly, we're going to have to start with a big scroll. Yeah, I've posted everything under the sun at this point, but I am obviously very thankful for those experiences. It's taught me a lot in terms of content creation in general. Right, so we've landed at the bottom of my profile. We made it eventually.
Day in the life. 18-year-old barber.
Right, I'm pausing it already, which is a bad sign.
Day in the life.
Worst hook ever.
Day in the life.
There's nothing visually appealing about this video. Captions scattered everywhere. Got the time down here. You've got the captions up here. You don't even know where to look. Oh, you get a little face card there. Day in the lifestyle videos. I see a lot of barbers doing these videos. To be honest, the main reason why these videos aren't going to perform well as a barber, and especially before you have an audience, is because no one cares. If you think about the average viewer who's on doom scroll, why would they care remotely what you do with your day? Especially when you have no audience and no one knows who you are, because that's the reality of social media. Unless you're Ronaldo and everyone knows who you are, then yeah, there would be an element of curiosity. But besides that, no one cares. So in terms of personal content, before you've built your brand, let's avoid that at all costs. So actually, you can see early on, I got arguably a viral video, 1.5 mil. Let's see what the hype's about here. Bearing in mind this was about 5 posts in, so I did strike gold, to be honest. TikTok was a very different climate back then, so would the video like this work now? No. To be honest, what's trending on TikTok changes every few months. Number one, I do somewhat resemble Miss Piggy. To be honest, your image as a barber is going to be one of the most important things, really. Yes, obviously you can get a viral video if your image isn't the best, but are you going to build up those consistent views, and are you going to build up an audience that actually resonates with you? Probably not, to be honest. You know, factors like if you're overweight, I can see my haircut is cooked as well. All of these are going to work against your favor. You do want to build an image, especially when you're actually trying to build a personal brand. You do want to take care more of how you look. So this is something that I realized back then and made a conscious effort to actually improve on. Definitely need to lean max, definitely need to hair max, but let's carry on. The framing is a bit horrible. You can see how off-centered this shot is. Like, you'd want the client's head in the middle of the screen. Now, the reason that this video did do well is because it was a unique take on a trending haircut, the Edgar haircut. I basically did a slightly different version to the ones we've been seeing. It was something new on the algorithm, and it was obviously playing into something that the market knew very well, which was the Edgar hairstyle. So again, referring to what I was saying earlier, would this work now? No, it wouldn't. Also, what I need to consider is how repeatable is this video format? You know, it's all so good getting one viral video, but if the video format that you've done isn't too repeatable, then there's no point really. You're going to be a one-hit wonder. You can hop between trends here and there, but realistically, you'd want it to be on more of a couple month basis, not necessarily 1-2 videos, then you're moving on, because it will get to a point where you're just running out of new ideas. Right, let's watch my first high-performing video where I'd actually established a structure that was repeatable to my content. Because as I said, that's going to be the key to actually growing on these platforms. Number one, you want to have something that obviously performs well. And number two, it needs to actually be repeatable. So let's have a look. This client didn't come for a trim for 3 months after he submitted. Number one, the audio is terrible. I'm not using the mic at that point, but again, I am about 20 videos in, maybe 10 vids in, so I'll let this slide for now. But to be honest, I guess that actually reaffirms the point that you don't need, you know, fancy cameras, fancy lighting. Well, I say that, this was actually shot on a camera, but if you have the video fundamentals nailed and you have a concept that works, you can just film it on your phone and it will still do well. So that's what I tell a lot of the barbers that I now coach for content. You don't need a camera. You can film it on your phone. Some of the biggest barbers on social media actually just film everything on their phones. So yeah, you don't need all the fancy filming equipment.
The ginger fringe incident.
So there, I refer to the ginger fringe incident. A lot of you probably have no idea what that is. That was also a massive trend at that time, specifically in the barbering niche. It had basically become a meme at this point. This is something I do now. I include relevant memes in my videos. For example, recently, I've been doing a lot of 6'7" in my videos because that was a huge meme with loads of viral potential. So that's exactly what I did here, and it seemed to perform well. I got 25k likes. We're lacking a lot of engagement in terms of comments, 113 comments for 25k likes. Comments aren't going to be what actually makes your video go viral, but they are going to multiply the views because people are going to be commenting. They're going to get people replying to the comment they've left. So they're going to be coming back to your video 1, 2, 3 times, just viewing your video about 10 times rather than just seeing it and swiping off.
Now, this video did give him severe PTSD. However, according to the side, it spoke some comfort to him. And this is how we got him looking. Smash!
Also, you see, I've been saying smash from day dot 2023. Start of 2023, you can see. This was actually my birthday, my 19th birthday. And I was pissed off, to be honest. I was pissed off that I was a barber and I wasn't keeping any of the promises I made myself. I wasn't creating content. I wasn't trying to go beyond actually just cutting hair. So from my 19th birthday, I made it a promise to myself that I'm going to actually take social media seriously. And the 19-year-old me would be glad to know that it's actually paid off at this point. Trust me, once you start, it's not actually that hard to keep the momentum going. But getting the momentum in the first place when you don't really have any knowledge on the platform is the hardest part, which is why I'm such a big believer in stuff like investing in education, social media wise.
What I've been through, I'm finna do what I'm waking up like the rest do, not as simple. I got sexy.
So at this point, I've established a structure that I can actually repeat. A little talking segment intro, talking to the camera, and then just displaying the haircut transformation. From there, I just rinse that exact format, which is the exact same advice that I'd give to any barber these days. Once you have that initial high-performing video that you can actually repeat on, multiple clients, multiple different haircuts, then that is honestly all the setup you need to actually blow up as a barber. All you need from that point is a bit of work ethic, and yeah, you're gonna gain a lot of traction because if something goes viral once, it's gonna go viral again and again. 2.4 million, let's see this. His school forced him to remove his mullet after some of the female students had filed complaints saying they were finding it challenging to concentrate with such a Sigma male present in the classroom. However, as the haircut progressed, I'm not cringing at these videos. I thought I would be, but these are literally good videos. And one of the keys that I can see why it performed so well is because they're 22 seconds, but they're so full, they're so action-packed with content. The shorter the content is, the less risk you're taking, because essentially the aim of content creation is to get your viewer to watch the whole way through the video. So obviously the shorter the video is, the more likely someone is to actually watch the video all the way to the end. School forced him to remove his mullet. And yeah, to be honest, that is a good hook in itself. His school forced him to remove his mullet. And I'm actually showing proof of me cutting the mullet off, which is going to actually hook a lot of viewers in to become a lot more emotionally invested in the video. Because on social media, a lot of people are familiar with concepts like, clickbait, where you'll say one thing, but you don't actually do it. So if you say something extreme at the start of your video to try and hook people in, showing a bit of proof that you're actually going to follow through with it does help out a lot because it establishes a bit of trust with the viewer. The lighting's not the best. The framing isn't good either in terms of where things are actually placed on the screen. But it didn't even matter too much because the structure was down. And as I said, it was a proven format that had worked previously. So of course it's going to work again. And as you can see, around this time, the views aren't actually bad at all. The biggest mistake I made here is that I pivoted content style way too quickly. I was pivoting styles so quickly to the point where I was bound to run out of ideas. With that original format that we just went over, I could have rinsed that for months realistically and it would have continued to work. However, at that point, I didn't necessarily understand that. I thought that every video needs to be a new idea, which is honestly a big mistake. If I continued those other formats for a couple months, then moved on to my next one, I think I would have seen more growth. Continuing my quest to determine the horniest men's haircut.
Mate, that's so horny.
It was only right that I took a trip across the pond.
So in your opinion, what is the most attractive haircut on a guy?
Well, personally, I like myself very skin fade.
What is your guy's favourite haircut on a boy?
The opposite to what you have.
What do you think is...
That video is absolute genius. Now, why did it perform well? The humor is definitely way too subjective. That is my humor. I still find that very funny today, but it's not mass appealing. What's something that everyone's going to understand, especially in the intro using things like the in-betweeners references. A lot of you might not even know what the in-betweeners is.
So horny.
That reference there, that's in betweeners. And at this point, I understood the value of getting girls involved in your videos. To be honest, guys, girls are just a cheat code in content, especially with barbering content, which is primarily a male audience. If you can get girls involved in your videos, it's generally going to do a lot better. Now, if I was making a video like this with what I know now, I would have included the girls in the hook of the video, because look, they didn't show until about 10 seconds in, which is, in this case, about halfway through the video. Determine the horniest men's. But again, this is more effort than I'd put into videos now, but it performs worse. So it just shows that if we're putting all our energy into something, but it's potentially the wrong thing, then we can't necessarily guarantee to expect good results. It's very similar to barbering. If you're working all day, every day as a barber, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, cutting hair all day long, but you're not putting effort into things like social media, which realistically have a much higher ceiling than just cutting hair, we can't necessarily expect to be successful as barbers. We're just letting off fireworks for fun. Can't necessarily expect to be successful as barbers if we're just cutting hair all day, every day, but taking no action to actually build a personal brand, to create proper marketing systems that actually justify charging premium prices, or to start making money online through our social media content. Just because you're working hard doesn't guarantee you to get really good results. If you do want to become serious about content creation as a barber and you want to actually learn the right way instead of, having to put in the amount of effort that I was putting in back here, flying to different countries, coming up with a different video idea every single time, editing all the videos myself, filming on very expensive camera equipment. If you want to get these results without all of the hassle that I had to go through, then you might be interested in the Smash Formula. It's my mentorship program for barbers, where I work with barbers one-on-one to scale them to 10K months, hundreds of thousands of followers. Like what I did with my client, Johnny. He was 15 years old at the time, and we got him to 100,000 followers in 4 months, only cutting hair 4 days a week and actually making money online through brand deals and TikTok monetization. Essentially, if you want to speedrun your barbering career and cut out all of the trial and error that I had to go through, then check out the description. I've got a link to actually book in a call with me one-on-one. From there, we'll break down your current situation as a barber, exactly where you're struggling and where I think you're being held back. And we'll work out if enrolling into the Smash Formula would actually benefit you, and if I think I'm in a position to actually help you. If you decide this is not going to be the right fit for you, then you leave the call free of charge and you will have gained a lot of value from it. There'll be a continuation of this exact video shortly, but until then, smash.